Hello, hello, expat warning, I'm sounding the alarm. The US just legalized bank-issued crypto under the Genius Act. This is what it means for you as an international expat abroad. Listen, if you live outside of the West and you live abroad and you have to rely on cross-border money movement, pay attention, because the US government has just passed the Genius Act of 2025, giving them full authority for the banks to use crypto and to issue their own stable coins. Now, here's an example for everyone because we all know about PayPal. PayPal now has their own crypto stable coin. Soon you're going to see JP Morgan Chase, you're going to see Bank of America, Wells Fargo. Everybody is going to have their own type of stable coin, crypto. We are seeing a flip in the system. The flip is here. The stock prices are holding steady, like they're still rallying, but on the crypto side, it's about to explode. And it's changing your international banking for the better. Now, listen, I was teaching the intensive, the state of the diaspora with my husband last night, and people were asking excellent questions as expats who want to live abroad during the 90-minute intensive that we pop up and do a couple times out of the month. They were like, hey, what are the best digital nomad banks? What should I do with my brokerage? You know, what does this mean? What does it mean if I'm in X, Y, and Z economy? And look, there's a lot that we need to uncover with this. This is a very pertinent time. Now, if you're wondering what the Genius Act stands for, it stands for Government-Enabled National Integration for Universal Stable Coins. It's a sweeping financial reform bill that gives full legal authority to U.S. banks to issue their own stable coins, as we were discussing. But this is not just about crypto introductions and adaptation, okay? It's about centralizing control over how your money moves, especially if you're an expat abroad, a crypto holder, or someone who is financially sovereign as an entrepreneur. Now, let's look at what this Genius Act actually means in layman's terms. FDIC insured banks are going to issue these dollar-backed stable coins. This is the United States' last chance to really just not allow the dollar to tank. We know that the BRICS are in motion: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. We know they may potentially do their own gold-backed currency. And so the US has been freaking out for the past year, probably even more than that, to be quite honest. But we see it coming to a head. So President Donald Trump, when he says make America great again, he's thinking this crypto thing could be the last way to do it. He wants the United States to be the crypto capital of the world. And he's essentially saying, I want the United States to be the surveillance capital of the world, to be the main capital of the world where you do not have control over your freedom, your resources, and your money. This is your ideal time as an expat to stay out of the States, to stay out of the West, and be in territories such as some of the islands of the seas, such as some of the countries in Africa and Asia, or even Eastern Europe, where you can really have sovereignty and true freedom because your freedoms are being erased. Again, the Federal Reserve is going to act as the ultimate backer and regulator of these bank-issued digital currencies. You're going to find a whitelist versus blacklist infrastructure to monitor crypto assets, wallets, and transactions for national security compliance. Again, let's think back to what we've been talking about on this channel. By the way, you should hit the like button. I'm like, hold on, like we're 4 minutes into this video. We're talking about the Genius Act, and there are 2 other acts that actually coincide with it. We're talking about the new crypto monetary system, how the US is going to be the new crypto capital of the world. And look, I just feel like, let me just give you like 5 seconds to like this video. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much for hitting that like button. You might as well subscribe and send this to 5 to 10 people right now, because what I'm about to get into next is going to get even crazier. So in simple terms, your bank can issue a digital dollar that is programmable traceable, and potentially freezes forms of your money, okay? So you need to make sure that you are just wise in these times, wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, as our great King Yahusha teaches us. He literally tells us in the book of Matthew, be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. He speaks in parables. These are things that are going to be pertinent for you as you go into 2026 and beyond. Because as of Q2 2025, get this, over 67% of U.S. international wires from consumer accounts pass through one of 5 banks: Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citi, and U.S. Bank. The source is the U.S. Treasury Cross-Border Report. Understand that. This changes everything for expats. These bank-issued stablecoins are like KYC on steroids. Under the current Genius Act, all bank-issued digital coins are going to come with strict identity verification, geolocation tracking, and transaction limits, meaning if you are in a territory as an expat that has a travel ban, you can potentially face issues. If you are an immigrant that is from a country that has a travel ban, you can face issues. And so you want to have your ducks in a row, and you also want to be in a neutral territory. I say this all the time. Go back to the video that I filmed on the 36 country ban, the U.S. embassy closures. Like, subscribe to this channel, watch through these playlists, because I'm giving you the information no one else on the internet is talking about for expats, because they just don't really fathom it and see what's happening. But I'm seeing the patterns here. I'm picking up on these patterns because I've been reporting on this for months, and I'm like, okay, all of this is connected. They want it to seem like it's not connected, but this is directly connected. If we look at that list of countries on the 36 country travel ban, you're soon going to see if you are in some of those territories, your money can be paused and frozen. I already have reports. Listen, we are journeying with us. We have been outside of the States for over 5 years, and we have served over 350 different clients across territories throughout Southeastern Africa, West Africa, the Middle East, Turkey, Israel. We have clients all over the world, even Thailand now. And so we are getting the real data on what expats are experiencing. They're reporting to us, hey, in the last month, my bank account keeps getting frozen. And it's like, yeah, my husband and I look at each other and we're like, yeah, that's to be expected, because they're flipping the entire system. So if your current address or IP is in a flagged jurisdiction, your bank may deny access to your digital wallet, freeze outbound wires, or flag your crypto transactions as high risk. This is going to mirror the action taken under the 2025 Secure Borders Financial Integrity Framework, which authorized temporary account freezes for U.S. citizens using foreign VPNs. You want to use the U.S. VPN to access domestic banking platforms. We cover so much of this stuff in the State of the Diaspora, and this is one of the main reasons that expats have to go back to the States, because they don't understand these patterns. And it is complicated, and it is something that's like, okay, I don't even understand where to start, but that's why we host this intensive a couple of times out of the month. Now let's talk about XRP, HBAR, and other decentralized tokens that are also under pressure. The U.S. Treasury is now required to create a compliant digital asset list every 90 days. Assets not on the list could be blacklisted, geo-restricted from major exchanges, and converted to digital dollars upon deposit, okay? Rumors from the SEC insiders suggest that XRP, HBAR, and Monero are top targets due to their cross-border functionality. If you do not know what XRP is, I'll break it down a little bit for you. XRP is basically the utility that is similar to SWIFT. If you know how to do international wire transfers, you go through the SWIFT system, which is a Western system of banks. XRP allows full access for you to do that from anywhere in the world, okay? And that is clearly a threat to the U.S. unless President Donald Trump is successful in his methods and his goal of getting the U.S. to be the crypto capital of the world. You have to think this is why he wants the U.S. to be the crypto capital, so that he can control the movements of these currencies and try to back the U.S. dollar to some of these cryptocurrencies. Okay. So now we need to talk about the end of offshore privacy. The Genius Act also mandates banks to report all stablecoin movements above $600 to the IRS, regardless of where the user is located. That means your business earnings could be rerouted to your US LLC, and it may now be tracked and taxed differently. You may also have to disclose foreign cold wallets or storage holding facilities that you have for your digital assets under US oversight. If you bank with a US bank while living abroad, your financial sovereignty could evaporate overnight if you are not choosing the right banks like Charles Schwab, okay? US banks are already moving fast on this too. Chase Bank has launched the Chase Digital Dollars, CDD, pilot accounts with a programmable limit and direct integration with the new FedNow rail. Y'all remember FedNow? It's about to go live. We had covered FedNow back when we lived in Tonga, Tanzania years ago. And now in 2025, we're seeing it come to a full head. Bank of America also published a white paper called Programmable Payments in a Post-Cash Economy. Welcome to the post-cash world, right? It states that they plan to roll out smart contracts for salary disbursements, geofencing for digital cash, real-time audit logs being sent to federal regulators. Wells Fargo is testing tokenized mortgage payments and rent disbursements through the FDUSD, their proprietary stablecoin crypto coin, expected to go public in Q4 here, just in a couple of months. The Genius Act may seem like a crypto innovation, but for expats and those who desire freedom, it's like a silent trigger towards having a fully traceable, controllable economy worldwide. Think one world government. If your entire life runs through one banking system or a US institution, you must reposition immediately. Shalom, shalom, be blessed. Be understanding, be discerning. I'll see you in the next video. Share this with 5 to 10 people who need to hear it.